After a suggestion in the comments, I'm going to do a breakdown of every preseason game for Islanders prospects. And so this is what took place in Game 2 of the 2021 preseason. I know I'm wearing a hat, but I'm having an epically terrible bad hair day. It's just a rat nest on fire, and it looks like I put my hand in a socket. It's just awful. I'm going to have to clean that up because it's just my hair. It's awful. It's awful. So on goes the lid. As you know, hit the subscribe button. Don't miss a video. Also, go to Twitter, follow @TLOMitch. That's me. Don't miss any breaking information about Islanders prospects or game coverage I've yet to cover on the channel. I want to shout out David S. for the suggestion to review in depth the preseason games. But I'm going to do it a little bit differently. I'm not going to do the whole game. I'm only going to look at prospects, at the Islanders prospects. That's it. That's all. I'm not going to talk about Bo or Dobson, even though they were dominant. I'm not going to talk about any other players than just prospects. And by talking about prospects, I mean reviewing their game, the stat line, a grade for each one of them, and some things that I like and didn't like from each one. Robin Salo is first up, finished with 18 minutes, 11 seconds of ice time, 2 shots on goal, 4 blocks, 2 penalty minutes, again in the box, and a finish with a .51 game score, which isn't great, but it's not terrible either. Salo didn't have an explosive necessarily game like he had the other one. He was perfectly fine though, which is something, right? Like he's coming to North America and this is game 2. And yes, he has a pretty good standout game in game 1 and has less so in game 2. But every player is not going to be incredible every game. That's just how they're going to be. And that this doesn't mean that he did anything negative either. He really wasn't a negative factor for the Islanders. If anything, he was a very much positive factor for them. He was a good player. It just he didn't have the same highlight reel as he did before or in game 1. Sure enough, he broke Travis Konecny's ankles, which was beautiful. But outside of that, he had just a solid game, which is good. That's a good thing. You want him to be comfortable and solid, and that's what he showed today. The penalty wasn't great, like he got caught by Konecny, Lindblom it was, with a veteran move. He being Salo put the stick in the middle, and Lindblom put his hand over the stick, essentially keeping Salo's stick there, and the arm goes up for that every day without fail. That's hooking, even though it's not really hooking. He didn't actually hook him, but in the NHL, in today's NHL, that is hooking. It is what it is. He'll learn from that. I gave Robin Salo a B+ on the day, so still pretty good, right? I'll take a B+. Any day of the week, I'd take a B+. It's not quite A. I reserve A status for you have to be really, really special on the night, and he wasn't necessarily special. Again, that doesn't mean he was bad. Aatu Raty also gets a B+ on the day, had 15 minutes, 17 seconds of ice time, 2 shots on goal, 1 hit, 2 giveaways, a .39 game score. He had a pretty decent game. He had some mistakes. There's that one, he tried to be too fancy going in the O-zone with a drop back, kind of toe draggy move that failed epically. It failed so bad that the Flyers went up the other way and eventually scored. It wasn't immediately off of that play, but because they gained the offensive zone off of that Raty giveaway, they eventually scored. So not great, but he made up for it pretty quickly. A few shifts after being guilty of essentially creating the turnover that cost the team a goal, he's back out there, picks up the puck in the neutral zone, really just goes right through the defender. I didn't catch the number on the guy, but he basically didn't exist, Aatu Raty, and just really kind of holds off the other one with some incredible strength for an 18-year-old, mind you, gains the zone, and a few quick passes later, it's in the back of the net. That's right, like that's really good for an 18-year-old. He's not making the team. However good he is, he's not making the team, but this is really what you want to see. There are 27 teams out there that are going, how did we not take this guy? Otto Koivula is next, and I'm giving him a C grade, and I think that's maybe a little bit generous. He finished with 13 minutes, 45 seconds of ice time, 1 shot, 1 hit, 50% on the faceoff dot though, and a .17 game score. He was fine as in a bottom 6 role. He played on the PK. He, again, played bottom 6, 5 on 5 minutes. But that's really it. Fine. And you'd expect more from a guy who's been in the system as long as he has. And maybe this is just his fourth round pick status being revealed, right? Like perhaps his meteoric rise, if you will, at the AHL level in that 1 year was a bit too much and kind of maybe heightened expectations higher than they should be. But he had a fine game, wasn't really that great. I expected more from Otto Koivula. Anatoly Golyshev played today for the first time since they signed him last year, right? He never played AHL or NHL. It's the first time we see him play, and he was okay. I gave him a C+ grade. Finished with 13 minutes, 39 seconds of ice time, 3 shots on goal, 1 hit, .47 game score. The guy can skate, he can work hard, but it seemed that over the course of the game, his influence on the game waned. He wasn't as effective in the later portion of the game as he was at the early portion. His game score and maybe effect on the game probably could have changed if this opportunity goes in. I'm not necessarily blaming him for it. It looks like the puck jumps his stick or that the D-man makes a pretty good stick check on him and he's just not got anything or can't get anything on it. But man, if that puck goes in, this game turns around for Anatoly Golyshev for sure, and he's definitely got more than a C+ grade on the day. I'm not really sure what to think of Sebastian Aho's game. I wasn't too impressed by it. This kind of comes back to the Otto Koivula argument of this guy's been around long enough that I expect more from him. And what I saw was, at least at the beginning portion, was the guy lost. He didn't really know what to do, and maybe that's because he was out there with Parker Wotherspoon. Although, to be fair, that shouldn't be anything new for him. He's played with Parker Wotherspoon before. So I'm not really sure why he wasn't particularly good today. Finished with 18 minutes, 33 seconds of ice time, 2 shots, 1 hit, 1 block, .18 game score. But again, just not really effective. And I expect more from a guy who's been around as long as Sebastian Aho is. He held the clipboard long enough so he should get a chance argument has been completely shot out of the sky. It no longer exists after this game and this game alone. The final prospect to review is Parker Wotherspoon. I'm giving him a B grade. Finished with 19 minutes, 39 seconds of ice time, 1 shot on goal, 2 blocks, a .36 game score. He was fine. He had penalty kill time. He was out there for quite a bit of ice time. He was fine. He flew under the radar, didn't really do anything. Almost a Michael Dalcold level of performance tonight, which is fine for Parker Wotherspoon, who is a stay-at-home defenseman. He's not a puck carrier. He's not an offense-first guy. He's very much in the Adam Pelech mold, and he was perfectly okay today. He's not going to be like Adam Pelech. He's not going to be a top-pair guy. If he makes the NHL, he's going to be a 6th defenseman, which is perfectly okay. He played a very 6th defenseman role today, and that's why I give him a B. What did you think of our guys today? What did you think of the prospects specifically after Game 2 of the preseason? Thank you for following. Thank you for subscribing. Again, if you haven't subscribed yet, hit that button. And if you have, thank you, thank you, thank you.